I'll do a little maintenance today, so I figured I'd bring you along. This truck's plugged in. We had a little incident with this on the highway the other day when one of the guys was driving it down the highway. Apparently there was a piece of metal in the road right here on the highway. He could not safely stop or get over out of the way in time, so that piece of metal came up right here and smashed into, this is the lift pump, and these are the separator and fuel filter. It came up and smacked this, hit it so hard that it cocked sideways, lifted this up, broke the fuel inlet line off, and smashed the filter on it. Had to be towed back. Got that back together yesterday, and I believe whenever they dropped it off on the tow truck, I don't know who did, but I think they left the key on. So she should be good now. Oh yeah. That's what I like to hear. Got a mulching job tomorrow, and so these knives need to be sharpened. As you can see, they are dull. Okay, so we got the skid steer over here, the mulcher on it. Got to hook the lines up, because if not, and you spin this rotor, it will kind of just build pressure in the motor, and you won't really be able to get the lines on unless you crack the couplers to relieve the pressure. More than one way to skin a cat. I'm sure everybody has their ways of doing this. Me, with having the Kubota has an overhead door, so the door opens up and overhead, so it's open right now. Other than Kubota and Takeuchi, there's no other skid steers that can do this. I purposefully own this machine for this reason and several other reasons, but I can lift the mulching head up right about shoulder height, so I can stand here and pretty easily sharpen these knives, because it takes about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how dull they are. This is probably one of the least glamorous things about forestry mulching, aside from sucking up cable and scrap metal and breaking the knives and having downtime on a job. But this is what a lot of people don't see about the forestry mulching. So I'm gonna go grab the grinder and get to sharpening. So I got the first one done. Just want to show you what it looks like. There's a before and there's after. You got to keep the right angle on these things. If I angle it down too much like this, whenever the material hits it, whenever the wood hits it, it's actually gonna be hitting the top. So if anything, you want it up a little bit high. If you have it up too high, angled too high like this, it's just super aggressive and it'll slow the whole thing down. But that's pretty sharp. I actually brought a spare I have in the truck, because if you do forestry mulching, you have to have spare pretty much everything. I've got like 3 spares teeth, the little spacer rings that go behind them, and the bolts. But this is what they look like brand new. These are pretty recently switched over, so you can flip them 180 degrees and then bolt them back on. So you've got, after I'll go through these with however many hours, the hours are depending on what type of terrain I'm working in, mulching. If there's a lot of rock, it's going to wear through them a lot quicker. But you can flip them over. The bottom side of these is brand new, so I'll be able to flip these. There's 2 different options with forestry mulchers. There's carbide and there's steel knives. These are steel knives. Steel knives are a lot more maintenance. You've got to sharpen them every like 4 to 8 hours of use. But as you can see, that is a sharp edge. So it cuts a lot quicker and it leaves a lot finer product. What carbides leave is good for if you're doing right-of-ways and, you know, maybe just trails, but this takes stumps down to ground level, cuts them off flush at the ground, and the material that's coming out of this, you can watch our mulching videos. If you check out our channel, it's closer to triple shred, depending on how many times I go over it. But I'm gonna set the camera up and we'll do a time lapse, because I'm sure you probably don't want to watch this in real time. Well, unfortunately, I did, so there's like a spiral row. We'll call it a row. There's 15 knives on each one. Unfortunately, I did the first one, switched the battery out in the GoPro, turned it back on, set it up. Could have sworn I hit record, but apparently I didn't. So, it is done. I can't feel my wrist anymore, but the knives are sharp. It's not exactly the most exciting part about forestry mulching, I will admit that. I wear a buff. Should probably wear a respirator, but you can see my arms is covered in metal powder. You don't want to be breathing that. But yeah, that's how you sharpen these. Now it's almost ready to go for the job tomorrow. So make sure to stay tuned, hit subscribe, and find some good forestry mulching footage for you coming up.